Wanted to hop on before the video starts. Two things. Thank you for 200,000 streams on the song. And two, a little bit of a weird audio thing going on. A little bit of a weird audio thing going on with my voice. You can still understand me, but it's not really crystal clear. Can definitely still hear what I have to say though. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Miscue on both of mine and Chase, the videographer's end, but we're gonna post it anyway because I want you guys to have this sample pack at the end of the video. Enjoy. Hopefully you learned something. Thank you so much. What's up, guys? My name's Riley James, and in celebration of 200,000 streams on my song Something Beautiful, we're going to be jumping into the project file in FL Studio, show you guys how I made the song, kind of dive into how everything was done. I'm hoping that out of this, you guys can maybe pull some things out of it, get some help. I'm also, at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving away a sample pack from samples that I used in the songs. You can download that down in the description. We'll get into it. I'm going to start off by playing a preview of the song in case you haven't heard it yet. I'll play the first break in the drop and yeah, get into it that way. So pretty much the render that's here, this is not like the final mix and mastered version of the song. So this one will sound a little different. I had to actually go in and refine the vocal file for this. So it might sound a little bit different than the versions that is released. But we'll get into it. Everything is still kind of there how it was. So, yeah, I'm excited. So I'll play the render and we'll kind of get into it just in order. So here we go.
Slow burn, took a while to bring the golden numbers to life. But you're worth every second, 'cause we got the fire to ignite. No, I wouldn't have it any other way, 'cause I can't get over what I'm doing with you. No, I wouldn't have it any other way tonight. No, no. We've fallen into feelings they don't know. Don't care if they never read the story we wrote. Oh, our love is holy, good as gold. Just one spark in our hearts turned into something beautiful. Just one spark in our hearts turned into something beautiful. Just one spark in our hearts turned into something beautiful. Past dreams.
All right, so that's kind of the first half of the song. The second half is pretty similar, just with some few, little variation things. So I want to start out with just kind of the vocal, a little backstory behind it. So I had originally met Robbie Rosen in like 2018, 19, and we would hop in calls and just kind of mess around with songwriting. It was back in COVID, and we ended up writing one of these songs. We wrote a few together, and this one in particular has kind of been sitting around since like 2019. And I was going through all my projects and kind of saw that I needed something to release, and it was a vocal that I already had, and I was liking the way it sounded, and I never really found an idea for it. So I kind of sat down one day and was like, I'm going to get an idea down for it, and that's what happened. So this is the vocal with the processing on it.
Slow burn, took a while to bring our golden numbers to life.
Pretty simple, standard, dry thing. Not really much going on the chain, just an OTT, some soothe and EQ, and a little compressor. There's two other stems in here, which are, well, three. There's an individual delay stem. So the reason why I like to do my vocals in like individual delay and reverb is because it allows you to have more control over the delay and reverb instead of just kind of slapping it on the main vocal and then not really being able to control where that delay comes from. Not necessarily comes from, but is filling in gaps, I suppose, because you don't want it to take away from the clarity of the actual vocal itself. You just kind of want the delay to fill up the spaces and be there as a little effect. So that's why I like to do this. This project was actually made in like 2022, so there's a lot of things in here that I wouldn't really do today because just from learning. But usually I would automate this delay file here that you see and kind of clean it up a little bit more, but I didn't do it in this song. So this is what that sounds like with the delay.
Slow burn, took a while to bring our golden embers to life.
Just kind of adding a little bit of wetness, and then we have a carrier here to trigger everything going on. And then this layer here is, I believe, a 4-man layer. Yeah. Just using some manipulator to obviously pitch it up, and I'm kind of drowning it in reverb to kind of give it a cool little atmospheric part to the vocal. And then here we have 2 little ad-libs that I actually edited. These are little things that are panned left and right. Let me play them. So it's just a cut of the dry vocal, put into some manipulator, lowering the 4-man, putting some reverb on it to kind of drown it out, and just EQing it, cleaning it up a little bit, giving it that little low feel, I suppose. So altogether, those sound like this.
Slow burn, took a while to bring our golden embers to life. But show
Kind of fills up that little gap, and I believe that there's one more here as well.
over what I'm built with you. No.
Just some weird little vocal effects things going on. A lot of manipulator in the project and the vocal. But below that is when we start to get some instruments coming in. If you listen to the song, there's a lot of kind of like those classic progressive house vibes, but I wanted to kind of put my own little signatures, I guess, involved in it. It's one of those things where when you make music like this, you want it to be, you want it to have that feel of the genre that you're going for, but you also want it to feel like your song, which is kind of what I feel separates people, is if you can make it feel like your song. So we have this little ARP here, just kind of, that's how the song starts, just opening up the cutoff. Just giving you something to listen to instead of just jumping right into the song. Maybe keep it and make it a little bit interesting off the start to kind of, once again, kind of get that attention, give the listener something to listen to in that sense. So we'll go ahead and mute the vocal and play some instruments here. And then we just have a little silent pad coming in, pretty basic. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. Just basic chords, really following the same pattern throughout the song. But that's that little bit there. Also, in this little intro part with the ARP, we just have a little reverse from Kashmir that's just coming up, flowing into the vocal. Over here, also just the extended mix. I'm not really going to get into that because that's just an extension of the drop. But so started the song with everything together. Sounds like this. Let me turn everything back on. Go.
Slow burn, took a while to bring our golden embers to life. But you're worth every second, 'cause we got the fire to ignite. No, I wouldn't.
So in this pre-chorus little section is when we start to kind of get some of the main elements of the song. it starts off with the same reverse from the intro, just copied over. And I'm also adding another little vocal FX thing that kind of fills out some space. I really like to use this one, or I did like to use this one a lot. Just panning it back and forth. Just kind of filling out some space, giving it a nice bed to lay on. On top of that, I believe this is like a little vocal cut from Nexus. Yeah, it's a little vocal cut from Nexus. It sounds like this. Pushing it out to the sides, some reverb, and an EQ to kind of give it that bed feeling again. So what we'll do now is we will get into this drum section. This is what the drums sound like by themselves. Let's see. So yeah, this is the drums by themselves. Kind of followed with a little fill at the end. So we have a little shaker just kind of playing along, kind of keeping a pace. Pretty basic. There's a lot of unique drum sounds in here. Not unique in the sense of never really heard them before, but in terms of progressive house, there's a lot of, like this one here, we have a rain stick shake is what it's called. Couldn't tell you what this is, but this is what it sounds like. Kind of sounds like a pre-shifted snap, I guess. I really like the way that felt in the song. And then we have just a hi-hat loop from, I believe this is Vengeance. I believe that's what VE is. Really, really simple. Just kind of chopped it up to give it the rhythm I wanted it to have. And then just a tambourine shot, once again, as basic as it gets. Then here we have the Kashmir acoustic kick, just kind of playing a normal pattern. And then here we have little ones that are a little bit quieter and don't really have any high end to kind of just give it a thumpy feel for a little fill. But once again, just pretty basic all around. And then just a snap, some reverb. And then here we have a little Kashmir reverse clock. This is what the whole sample sounds like. And then we have it kind of just, being in there as a little piece to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. We have a little pluck shot, I'll call it. I found this somewhere in my sample library called the Metro Boomin Synth. I don't really know how signature it is to him or, really where it came from, but I thought it sounded cool. For processing on that, it's getting pushed out to the sides a little bit. There's some OTT on it, some reverb, give it that space, and some soothe to kind of clear out some of the annoyingness. And then in here, we have this little fill section with the kick, which is just a clap here. Kind of a bigger clap, kind of using that as a layer to this one. And then an even bigger clap here. And together they make this layer. Well, together the fill kind of sounds like this. And then kind of back into that main section there. So that's the drums. Here we have kind of like a little bit of a characteristic pad coming in. Kind of like that Init sound, but with some effects on it within the synth. Some OTT on the post-processing, some reverb, EQ, really boosting the highs. without the EQ. Sounds kind of like an init preset, and then I really pushed them out a little bit, and then an automated kickstart and a fruity balance. Automating some volume there, nothing too crazy. Then we come in to a pretty standard bass guitar. I mean, pretty basic. And also, if you're going to use a bass guitar, everybody tells you this, and I do recommend it because it just does sound better. I'd recommend having these little sliding notes in between your bass notes. Without it, it sounds like this. And then with them, it sounds like this. It just kind of gives it that feel, because when you play guitar, you slide your fingers around. Kind of gives it that feel like you're sliding your fingers down on the guitar, because nothing beats a real instrument being played. Just saying. So that's the bass guitar. And then here we just have a continuation of that init pad with some side chain. Oops. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. That's really it for the pre-chorus. I suppose not. We have just a basic sub drop. No processing, just there. Followed by these hits. Give it a little transitional fill. Kind of signify something's coming. I'm not even sure if this is on. Yeah, that's not even on. And then just a reverse crash. And then also I'm bringing over this automation clip from the intro bit here to kind of give it that transitional feel again. That something is coming. Let's see if this one up here is on. I believe that one of these is a reverse piano. Yeah, there it is. So the pre-chorus sounded like this.
I didn't have it any other way, 'cause I can't get over what I'm doing with you. No, I wouldn't have it any other way tonight. No, we've fallen into feelings that...
So we come into a little bit of a hook here. I really wanted this to be a little bit of a switch up from the actual song. We kind of had really acoustic, fun, kind of playful section with drums and a bass guitar, kind of making it a little bit familiar to what you hear in kind of just like pop music. But I really wanted this part to have a little bit of a switch up, bring in some new elements, and kind of suck you in almost. So we start out keeping it in the low end with just a Reese bass, just an EQ, fruity balance. Don't even know what the fruity balance is for. Here, this is a pad that's turned off. And then here we have the piano with the velocity notes changed up. Give it that real feel. Oops. Give it a little bit of a realer feel. And then the process, well, this is what it sounds like. Goes into the build-up. The processing on the piano, some stereo shaping, make it a little wider, some OTT, a lot of it. I really wanted it to feel like a compressed piano. And that's what that gives it. Some reverb, some EQ taking out the lows, some EQ boosting the mid-range, some soothe, kind of taking away that annoyingness. Just getting rid of some things that I didn't really want there. Some Edison recording a reverse note. Pretty basic, pretty simple. And then here we have that same little vocal cut. Some white noise. cuts, really basic. And then another higher ambience layer, pushing it out to the sides a little bit, some EQ, kind of shaping it a little bit, getting it out of the way of some things. I believe this is just a repeating Nexus guitar, just kind of giving it a little bit of a bed to lay on. Some high string and a piano. Addictive Keys is a really good piano. I still use that in a lot of my songs. But something here in this section, it looks like we actually missed something here. This is part of the transition before, just to fill. And then the cello. Just OTT and EQ. What I was saying, Addictive Keys is a really good piano, and sections like this with your song, I think that it's really important to have a good, strong, I call it a bed to lay on, because that's kind of what I think of my atmosphere is like everything is kind of sitting on that, and that's kind of the thing that's kind of floating around and setting a vibe for the song. I think that it's really important to have a good one of those, because you can make a lot of cool little interesting things in those. And I know that in this track, it's not really a good example of having like crazy things going on, because as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward song. There's really nothing that you haven't never heard before here. But just in regards to music in general, I think that if you get a really cool and good bed to lay on, for the rest of the elements of your song, that'll really push and elevate your song to continue and kind of inspire you. At least that's what helps me out a little bit. And then down here, we are introducing the leads just with some filtering going on. Dumping out the side chain, just kind of having them in the background. Kind of fill up that space a little bit, introduce the melody. So this is that hook section from the transition.
We've fallen into feelings they don't know. Don't care if they never read the story we wrote. Oh, our love is holy, good as gold. Just one spark in our hearts turned into something beautiful.
Now we are into the build-up, as you heard. So the build-up, it is pretty straightforward. Again, this piano that I played in this hook part is coming over, and I'm kind of stripping it down. I'm playing the kind of like the main hitting notes on the beats of the melody. I'm not playing the melody, but every bar I'm playing the note that the melody hits on, and just kind of adding in some transitional little bits. Kind of give it a little bit of atmosphere. You can't even really hear that with the rest of the song, but definitely fills up some space. Here we are bringing in the pad from the pre again. Really basic, bringing in that Metro Boomin synth. The vocal cuts kind of just going out throughout the whole song. This little vocal loop again. We have a little impact. Really, really simple. And then the kind of same atmosphere from before. Coming into the little drum section. Some risers, obviously. I love this Dub Vision riser. I use it in almost all of my songs, exposing a little bit of a secret there, I suppose. But I use this in all of my songs and put it in the proper key to my song. I think that that's also, obvious. make sure everything that you have in your track is kind of in the key that you're going for. But I really do like this riser. Really, really has a lot of tension in it. Really, really good for songs like this. And then another riser that I use in almost all of my songs. And then here I'm also automating the volume, kind of giving it that really whooshy effect that it's coming in. Yeah. Into the snares, we have a loop from the Magnificence pack in 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm automating the panning on it as well, so it starts on the left and then ends on the right. This is what that sounds like. Really, really, really simple. Let me see. Yeah. That one's not even getting pitched up, so really, really simple there. This is, I believe, just an orchestra snare. Getting pitched. I use that snare in all of my songs. Really, really like that one. It's like a rolly feel. And then the main snare group here. Couple different snares, a snare that I kind of made and use, just a little rhythmic snare in between the main hits of the snare, kind of give it a little bit of sauce, I guess you could say, and then kind of doing a weird little pitch thing with it. But that's pretty much the snare section. We have this little acoustic fill that I actually turned into kind of a build-up piece. It's really, really messy. I was listening to this project file when I opened it, and I listened to this, and I was like, damn, this literally does nothing, but I'm going to show it anyway because it's in here. But yeah, I mean, I tried to save it in the processing, but yeah, it doesn't really do anything for the song. I could turn it off and it would make a difference. So, but sometimes you have that in your songs. That's one of them. And then the Koyu build-up, automating it. Pretty simple. And then a riser. That's pretty much it. And then the leads, obviously, I won't play those again here because you just heard them. Another little uplifter, riser, whatever you want to call them. And then getting into this section here, have a little bit of the acoustic kick coming in and being a part of the buildup. So what this kick carrier does here is this is linked. Oh wait, that's the wrong layer. This is linked to the sub. Maybe not. Let me turn these on, see if it turns on. Okay, so somewhere in those EQs that I just showed that kind of looked like they were all doing the same thing, I'm asking myself the same question as to why they're there. So pretty much what this kick carrier is doing is it's set up so that when this kick plays, I had an automated knob on an EQ and a parametric EQ that would lower the bass and keep the kick the same. So instead of automating a sidechain that I would have to kind of keep off for the entire song, I wanted to have the carrier for the kick in the build-up specifically, because a sidechain wouldn't really cover this because the kick is playing like, instead of just 1, 2, 3, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's playing 1, 2, 3, 4. There's really no sidechain that can kind of cover that, at least I know of. So what I did was I just made a carrier for the kick, so then whenever the kick plays, the bass just goes down and it kind of cleans everything up. So the kick sounds like this. Oops. Let me turn everything off. Kick sounds like this. As basic as it gets. I've been saying that a lot this video because this, in all reality, is a pretty basic song. So I will play the build-up.
Into something beautiful. Just one spark in our hearts turned into something beautiful.
That's a build-up. I actually forgot to show the fill. So this is what the fill sounds like. Really, really, really easy. Just kind of a fill I made. Starting with this, giving it some low end. The drop kick, giving it like a ba-doom boom thing, I guess. This little woo that I found. This little zip from Diego. Shout out you, Diego. Part of the song. And then a fill. Really, really basic. Really basic stuff going on here. I really like the fill though. I think it's cool. I think it is a good transition piece. A good energetic transition piece from the build up to the drop. Kind of really tone in on the drop. So now into the good stuff that I'm sure a lot of people have been looking forward to, or might have even skipped to in this part of the video. If you've watched all of this so far, thank you. You're a great person, and I hope you have a good day. So into the drop. We're going to start with the leads, go in, break down some processing, go to the bass, chords, whatever, go to the drums, whatever. All of the good stuff. So this is what the leads are sounding like. I know what you see here. I see it too. I see two Soundgoodizers on top of each other. And to be honest with you, I'm not ashamed. And you shouldn't be ashamed either, because this is a great tool. Anyway, two Soundgoodizers. Before you roast me, I know there's two of them on top of each other. Whatever. One of those things where, you don't care, I don't care kind of thing. But kind of just making it tighter. Soundgoodizer is actually a really good tool if you can kind of tone it in the right way. As you can see, there's not a lot going on in here. Very, very minimal. But it is a really good tool if you can kind of dial it in the right way. Because I do know that out there in the producer community, Soundgoodizer is kind of a meme. And I have two of them on top of each other. So, don't clown me. But, moving on. OTT. Really, really simple stuff. Just some more compression. Saturn. Get some saturation going on. Boosting up the main body of it. Kind of keeping the high and the same. I felt that they were lacking some of that. Actually, let me kind of do it like this. This is the two Soundgoodizers. Kind of tightening it up a little bit, and then the OTT. Kind of tightening it up as well, kind of giving it a little bit of air, I suppose that you could say. Kind of giving them that compressed feeling. And then the Saturn here. Kind of boosting up that body area of the sound of the stack. and then we're gonna go into a reverb. This is one of those scenarios where I said that this song was made a long time ago, and I would have automated my reverb. Once again, please don't roast me in the comment section. Endless Smile, I believe this is just for the build-up. Automating it over here, pretty straightforward. EQ, dipping away at some nastiness in here, boosting a little bit of the sides and the high, and boosting the stereo highs as well. Really wanted the high end to kind of push this through, make it super energetic, super festival, that kind of thing. And then we're going to hit it with some Soothe, get rid of these frequencies. Soothe is just such a good plugin. Really recommend it to anybody that doesn't have it. Really, really good plugin. I literally use it on every song I've ever made since buying it. I even put it on my master chain sometimes. If, my master is really nasty. We have a Fruity Love filter. Again, this is what I use for filtering. You can use whatever your heart desires for filtering. But this is what I use. I really like this one for some reason. And then just a kickstart too. Pretty basic individual layers. It's an alright lead stack. Nothing really too crazy. 10 layers is kind of a lot. I'm sure that if I took the time to kind of go in and dissect everything back then, I could have maybe eliminated some of them and kind of saved some space that way. But I need a drink. I would have gone in and kind of cleaned them up a little bit more, but kind of back when this was going on, I cared, but obviously not enough to kind of do that. But we have the leads going on to the sub, I believe this is. Yeah. 2 layers, higher Reese layer, taking away the low end, lower layer for the actual sub bass itself. Some distortion, compression, EQ, Soothe, clean it up a little bit, kickstart. Really, really simple stuff. Kind of pushing it into mono because you want the low end in mono. Not entirely in mono, but kind of song depending, I guess. That's the sub. And then we have the mid bass here. Layer 1, 2, 3. What that sound like together, starting at OTT, again really basic, sausage fattener, some Saturn boosting the body again, some R bass from Waves, really, really cranking it, as you can see. This is, again, one of those things where the song was made 2 years ago. So this is what I thought sounded good then. If this does sound good to you, I would go for it. I don't necessarily recommend putting the intensity to 24 on R bass. I like to kind of find the sweet spot with it now and kind of make adjustments that way, but just kind of showing how everything is done, I suppose. Don't hate the player, hate the game is what I usually say. Some EQ, kind of shaping it a little bit, getting the highs out of the way for the lead, the low end away for the sub. Pretty simple. A transient designer to take away some of the attack. I wanted to get the attack and click out of the way of the leads. Let them breathe a little bit. Some sidechain, same as the bass. Pretty basic stuff. And then onto, I believe this is the chord section. Yeah, so layer 1. Pretty basic. Starting it with some sausage fattener, really light on it. Some OTT, a lot of OTT here. Making a lot of adjustments with the OTT. Really kind of reviving it, honestly. Really kind of changing how that sounds, frequency-wise. Onto a twin tube, which is just giving some harmonics. Should have output matched it. Oh well. Can't even really hear what this is doing, to be honest with you. It was probably one of those things where I just put it on, and what happened happened. Shaping the sound with an EQ. Again, transition, dumping out the attack. Really want the leads to have the click. Some imaging. Giving them some width and some sidechain. And then this. Just a piano layer I threw in, kind of give it some normal feel. Some clank and some acousticness. With an OTT, some EQ taking out the lows, lowering the tack again with the Transient Designer, some stereo imaging, and then some sidechain. Again, pretty simple stuff. This is what those synths sound like together. Actually, let me play this one before I do that. Choir, boosting the 200 range, kind of giving it some thickness, rooting it to the chord bus, all that good stuff. And then what is this? Just a high string. So this is what all of the synthesizers sound like together. Wait. There we go. Yeah, that's what we got going on here. Moving on to the drum section, I will play that kind of individually after once I play it all together. A lot of small things in here. In my newer songs, I have learned to kind of group things in the playlist like this to kind of avoid from that happening. Going through and squinting and trying to click everything. So this is the drums as a group. Really love the drum section, to be honest with you. That's the first time I've heard that in a while. And that is a good drum section. So, kick. Who's it from? Naira. Shout out Naira. Getting the kick. It's a big part of the song. In all songs, getting the kick right is something that I've learned is very, very important. In my opinion, your tracks really are not good without good drums and good samples and good kicks and that kind of thing. Because this is dance music. People dance to kick drums and rhythms. So I would really try to get a good kick drum. I really like this one. I think it's pretty solid. Just a basic ride. Simple. Little shot that I use or used to use in a lot of my songs, kind of straying away from that now. I think it's good to kind of continue to try and change the way you do things and do things. Said it twice. Change the way you kind of see things and mix things up. But kind of moving on from the sample a little bit. Good sample, good little impact thing. But anyway, instead of a ride, well, I have this ride, right? Just white noise. And then instead of an actual cymbal ride, I took a crash and used that for a drum. Kind of giving it some bigger energy, which is something that I really wanted in the song. I don't know, really filling up space. I don't really know the decision that I made, what I thought in the moment, but from what I hear now, it takes up a lot more space in a ride, and it kind of has that like slamming energy, I guess. Crash, sidechained at the end, perfect. Some claps from the Rios Patreon pack. Shout out Rios for the sample. Big dog. We got a little shot here. Yeah, just kind of there. Thought it sounded cool. I used this in Ghost View as well. Really like that sample. The basic progressive house ambience from Nine Lives. Shout out Nine Lives. Great sample. Little tom following the pattern, and then a little loop with a little plucky thing. Not too sure where I remember finding this from. I think it might have just been something I found in my library. Thought it sounded good. Cool rhythm to it. And then this is just a fill from Nine Lives as well. Shout out Nine Lives again. Kind of to pair with this one. Kind of giving it a cool little rhythm there. I love this fill from MHA. Shout out MHA as well. Little shaker loop here from Kashmir. This is all kind of one fill, actually. Yeah. Cool little fill I made. Nothing too crazy. A little reverse stab from Revealed. Kind of give it a sweep into the second half of this drop, I suppose you could say. Kind of keep things flowing. It's not really something that you can hear in the mix, but it's something that you can kind of feel. And then this kind of bigger fill here, starting from Aspire. Little thing, kind of chopped. Same fill from the the build up. Little zip, and then a little thing I made. This is kind of cool. Some fruity phaser on it. I believe that this was just a standard vocal shot that I just kind of played around with and panned. Some phaser, little room action, and then, wait, this might be the original. For some reason it won't play, but you get the point. And then this little Koyu fill. Hear that a lot. Really basic. But let me see. And then the fill here, just a Kashmir snare. Going up. same fill there. And then the sub drop. Yeah, I think that's the drop. Let me see. Play the drop from the end of the build-up.
Something beautiful.
Nothing too crazy, really. Again, this isn't the final version of the song, so I kind of polished the impact and the feel from the drop in the final mix and master. And then going into the second break, it's really just a copy and paste, pretty much from the first break.
Past dreams, like a
Just kind of fading in this art. Fading in that art from the intro, kind of keeping everything the same, really.
no, I wouldn't have it any other way, 'cause I can't get.
We have this little muted guitar that I liked to use. I cannot view the processing on it because I bounced it, obviously. Sounds like there might be some chorus on it, so take that with a grain of salt. Don't know what this is. Sounds cool, but not too sure.
What I'm doing with you, no, I would.
Okay, there it is. So it's just a little part of the fill, little sample. I kind of Frankenstein, as we call it. Kind of just played around with it, got that out of it. And then here, the main variation in the second break is in this little ending piece. I gave it a little bit of an orchestra transition, and also I gave it a kick with delay somewhere right here. So that sounds like this.
Oh no, we falling into feeling.
Just little things, adding variation.
We falling into feeling.
That's what the old one sounded like. This is what the new one is.
We falling into feeling.
Just kind of keeping it interesting to listen to, kind of catch you in a little bit of surprise, keep you listening. And then we're back into the piano.
Falling into feelings they don't know. Don't care if they.
Really simple, pretty much copy and paste, and then into the build-up.
Into something beautiful.
Only really different thing that I'm doing here in the build-up is I'm just bringing over some more ambience, which sounds like this. Oh, no, those are actually the chords. So actually, now that I hear that, what I'm doing is I'm pitching a lot of things up. As you can hear, the sub bass is kind of sustaining out and getting pitched up at the end. I'm kind of doing that with everything else as well, just dragging some stuff over, keeping it on a single note, and pitching it up, really kind of amplifying the tension in the second build-up, adding another riser from Ben Potts. Shout out Ben Potts. Let's see. Yeah, just basic. And then in the second drop, we are adding a little hat loop. I will show the master chain here. I will say that the one that's used in the mix and master is 100% different. But this is kind of a good starting point, I suppose, that you could kind of take and kind of try some things for yourself. So we're starting with a some dynamics going on, and I lowered the mix of that here. Don't really know why. Once again, this is completely different than the actual mix and master. I'm assuming it's because if I turned it up, it would be a bit too compressed, so we're gonna not do that. And then we're going to an EQ, which is just boosting some sides in the highs and then the lows and ducking them in the mids, bringing up the mids a little more. A stereo enhancer because it is moving everything kind of more mono at the end of the buildup, and then when the sides hit in the drop, it kind of feels like an explosion in a sense, because everything is kind of middled out, and then you get everything in the side. Cool little effect, basic effect, but cool. This filter controls the low end in the buildup, taking that out so the drop feels cooler. Some stereo imaging, widening everything, some soothe. Like I said, if you don't have it, go buy it. Really, really great plugin. Fruity balance for a fade out, it looks like at the end here. Some compression, or not even compression. This is just catching the peaks of the song before it goes through the limiter, and some span, pretty much. Once again, that's not the actual master I used, but kind of a starting point if you would like to kind of, have that broken down. But that is pretty much the song. I mean, it's pretty simple. Let me see if I can go in here. Project info. 25 hours on the song. If I did some math in my big old brain, I would probably say this song took like 14 hours to make. Because sometimes what I do is I will have a project open and then I'll go do something and it will just sit open and collect time. But like it says here, project was started on 4/11/2022. Yeah, I mean, that's almost 2 years ago. Today is January 20th. Almost 2 years ago. I wanted to show this to everybody because, this is my highest achieving song on Spotify. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of take you into a project of kind of how I used to do things and, what a song looks like, I suppose. I am planning on doing more of these in the future, though, for kind of more organized things. But yeah, I wanted to celebrate kind of 200,000 with a breakdown and also a sample pack for everybody to use. Just to kind of, as a thanks or give back in that sense. But like I said, kind of an old project. A lot of things in here that I would do different now. But I mean, I really can't be ashamed of it because, what's done is done and people like it. So, yeah, I think that might wrap this one up. Like I said, the links to all of this will be down below. Links to social media, Spotify, whatever, will be down there as well. Let me know if you want to see more of these as well. I have a great camera guy named Chase who helps me film all these and kind of does the behind the scenes stuff. So, on that note, we will wrap this one up. And like I said, let me know if you want to see more. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Gonna have a lot of new music out this year. Super excited for it. But yeah, check out the description below. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.